Well, man, well, good morning, everyone. It's a great turnout this morning. Good to see everybody bright and early and chippery, yeah? Uh, I hope everybody prayed before we start today. I'm just kidding. Man, it's always a tough one getting together virtually. Here at Catalyst, we like to really gather together and connect and build trust and collaborate. Sometimes this pandemic doesn't allow us to do that right now, and so we're super sad. But man, it's so great to see some amazing community leaders jumping on early this morning, and leaders of leaders and servant leaders, and just everybody that we see on this morning. It's a great time so far, and we're looking forward to a great topic today. As we are all here once a month, gathering various leaders of Modesto and surrounding areas in our county. And for those of us that are joining live on Facebook, we want to welcome you on Facebook. If you're watching us live on Facebook, we do encourage you to jump in the chat if you have any questions or things that you are agree with or disagree with, whatever floats your boat there on Facebook chat. We have a couple online expectations here at Catalyst since we're doing virtually. Number one is just make sure your audio is muted. Feel free to use the chat. Obviously, if you want to make fun of Joe Duran, you can type in the chat there, or Marvin, you just make them laugh. And these guys are some amazing people in my life. So feel free to jump in and clown on them whenever you like. I'm just kidding. Today's meeting will be recorded. It would also be on our website later on, probably in a day or two. So take a look out for that if you're interested in doing some follow-up on today's topic, okay? Also, everybody has a mobile phone. If you're on your computer, do us a favor and go ahead and go to our City Ministry Network page, check in, and even go ahead and just share the Facebook Live if you know how to do that. We're also on Instagram, so if you are an Instagram follower, you can follow us on City Ministry Network on Instagram to kind of stay up to date on local things that are happening in our county and our community. So as we mentioned every month, the purpose of Catalyst is really a gathering, a place of connection with a purpose, or connections that matter. We like to have some good dialogue, good conversation. We love to laugh. We love to connect. We love to see everybody and build some trusted relationships. In Catalyst, our hope is that you're able to connect with others who share the same vision and passion, begin to establish some trusted relationships, and then let's collaborate together to make a big impact in our community. And this is what Catalyst is. And for me, Catalyst is a true testament to see what it has done in my life, especially in my community. So I'm super excited to see everybody on here today. Today's topic is definitely a big one, as you all know. The national things that are happening right now, but do not pay attention to the debate. Okay, let's pay attention to what's happening local. All right, let's treat each other with civility. We may have some different views, but I think there's a key thing here, and I think the key thing is that we listen to each other. You don't have to agree. We probably don't agree. I don't like some things that you might not like, and I love some things that you might like. And so there's some differences in the room, but let's agree to be humble. Let's agree to be humble and civil during this time in this conversation. So, all right. Well, this is the time where Leah's going to take over. So I'm going to give the mic to Leah, and she's going to jump right in.
Wow, that fast.
Oh, wait. No, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, I'm right.
No, that's okay. So interesting. Mike and I have been talking in the last couple months, which led to this session today, as I was sharing how, to be honest, I haven't always been consistent about voting in local elections. But this summer, when the tragedy with George Floyd happened, and all the issues have been raised about race and police procedures and all the other issues that are kind of out there, I happened to see a tweet from Barack Obama saying how if you really care about these issues, just voting at the national election is not going to make a difference. Voting for your president and your senator doesn't affect these things because these are decided at the local level. So it's your local police chief, you know, your city council, et cetera, people who make decisions about police procedures and about zoning laws for undervalued communities, things like that. And so I thought, okay, I need to step up in the knowledge that I have around local elections. And I actually found a guidebook that was out there as I was kind of looking around that talked about quadrant voting. The fact that there are 4 kind of positions that are very important when you're thinking about police procedures, and it's your mayor, because your mayor often is the one who chooses the police chiefs. So you need to know what their thoughts and values are around police procedures. And then your district attorney, who is the one that, you know, holds the police accountable. So you kind of need to know what their thoughts are around these issues. I started looking into it and realized, okay, in Modesto, actually our mayor does not choose our police chief. It took a while to find the information, but it's decided by a panel of community members and local or past and present police chiefs are on the interviewing committee and some city department people. But it made me just more aware, and I've been more involved this year at seeing what's happening and want to be more careful about how I'm voting to make sure that we're taking care of all the people in our community. So anyway, that's my little speech about what I learned this summer, and hoping that all of us, especially even in the off years, I think, which is often when people don't take the time to go vote, and we know the numbers are always really low, but to realize it matters both when the national election is happening and on the every 2 years. So I will leave that there.
That's great research, Leah. Thank you so much. That was an insight for me, just picking the police chief. I did not know that either, so that's good insight. I think as we're reminding what our topic is today is local elections matter, and I think for all of us in the room, we realize that that's happening, and we're excited to have Brad Hahn with us, and he's really going to give us a little bit more understanding of local government. So Mike, you want to go ahead and take it away from here?
Sure. So it is fascinating to look at how local governments work. And as Leah said, local governments aren't all the same. And so what I wanted to do, I had a conversation with Brad Hahn, who is been involved in government here locally for a number of years. And I just wanted to ask him some questions and have him help us. Many of you probably are very familiar with how our government system works here in Modesto, but I was not. And there are things that I didn't understand until I started having conversations with Leah and looking into different things. So Brad, I want to thank you for being here. You can go ahead and unmute your phone so we can hear you when you respond.
Okay, got it. You hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
How are you this morning?
I'm doing good.
Good. Thanks for being willing to come share with us. So as Leah said, some cities are called a strong mayor city, and the mayor really has a lot more responsibilities and control.
Mm-hmm.
Is Modesto a strong mayor city?
No, it isn't. Most of the larger cities in California are strong mayor. And if the analogy really is like someone goes to Sacramento, they have their own staff, they hire folks and actually run their area. And that's in a strong mayor city. They actually hire and fire the police chief and hire department heads. And that can vary based on the jurisdiction, but they come in with a whole new regime basically to run the city. There's a lot of good advantages that if you got a good mayor. If you don't have a good mayor, that can be a real train wreck. And that's my personal concern, is to go into a strong mayor. And there's folks out there that think we ought to be a strong mayor so the mayor can come in and actually affect change. And, you know, I can see both sides of that argument, but we are a charter city, which is a little different than a general city that's out there. And there's some differences there. But when I was on the council 16 years ago, there was a committee that did a review of the charter and kind of shifted a little away from way it was, which was essentially the city council and the mayor are policy setters. The actual running of the city is a city manager. And really, city council members and the mayor don't have the position, the right to actually tell the city staff what to do. They have to go through the city manager, because the city manager is responsible for that. What changed when I was referring to just a minute ago is that we then became, the mayor is now responsible for presenting the budget. They developed the budget with the staff. It used to be the city manager did that. So they want to have mayor to have a little more control over that. And you know, where the money goes, that's where the influence goes. So they present that. City council still vets through that and ultimately votes. The mayor in our city has one vote. They don't have any power beyond that, other than they do the budget, they set the agenda, and they also populate the committees in our community. So
they set the agenda for the
meetings, yes. And so if I'm a council member, the mayor doesn't want to put my item on there, I have to go to the council meeting and say, okay, I want to put this on the agenda, and you get the votes, it gets on the agenda. So you know, all of the positions, there's always checks and balances. The mayor doesn't have the authority to just, you know, put an edict out there and make it so, because they still have to get the vote of the membership. So that's kind of the.
So while we're kind of talking about that group of leaders, so what are the responsibilities of the council members then?
Well, they're essentially they're assigned to, and normally there's discussions about, like, you know, which committee you go on, and then within that committee there's the chairman and vice chairman of that committee, and they vet through the things that are going to ultimately make it to the city council. For instance, like the budget, and when it comes to police and fire and what we're going to do there, that would be vetted out in light of the budget that the mayor had given, and then there may be tweaks to that before it goes to the city council. And so every council member has, and the mayor have, when it comes to voting, have equal footing. There isn't some special thing that the mayor particularly has that. So it really forces them to be much more collaborative, which that part I like, you know, personally, because I think then they have to work with people. But then there's the Brown Act, which you can only talk to two, like there's 7 members on the council, so you can only talk to 2 others about a specific thing that's going to come to the council, you know, in closed doors, you know, outside of the public eye. And that was what that was for. The Brown Act was put in place so that the public's decisions get made in public, not in private. And that's good, but it's also really hard sometimes to get, you know, sit down and talk about stuff and figure out what's what. But that's kind of the way it is.
Well, thank you, Brad. I appreciate your willingness to share with us. Obviously, we can't, in a setting like this, exhaustively look at how Modesto's government is structured. But would that be found if somebody was wanting to actually read through a description or the guidelines for our city government? Would that be in the charter?
Yes, you can get online and look at the charter, and that defines the roles and responsibilities of everybody in the whole.
And so for everybody here on the call, there'll be a list of resources at the end, and one of those is a PDF of the Modesto City Charter. And so if you are interested and disciplined enough to read through that, that will be available. So Brad, thank you. Are there any other thoughts you?
Yeah, I have just this is personal. I look at how do I choose a leader, and I'm a business guy, so do I choose a business person? Well, somebody with experience in business, that's good. But what I kind of boil it down to personally is the person a humble person? Is the person have a servant's heart? Do they know how, and do they exhibit the ability to work with people and to bring out the best in people? Because you got 7 people there, and I think the mayor's responsibility, partly, maybe a major, is to be sure that everybody's doing the best that they can do and have the resources they need to do it, and hold them accountable to make our city a better place. So that's what I start to look at. I'm using that filter more than the traditional, do you have the experience? I think experience can be gained, but a servant's heart is something you can't just click on. It's something, it's a character issue. So there you go. That's it.
That's good. Thank you, Brad. I appreciate your willingness to share with us, both out of your experience and your understanding of our local government. Jose, I'm going to turn it back to you. Thanks,
Mike. And man, thanks, Brad. Yes, the charter is the place where you can see everything, and it's a pretty interesting document. So it's a very long document. So if you have some coffee and Snickers or whatever else you want to eat during that time frame, and dive into it, some good stuff. So let's move on, and we're going to talk a little bit today about local elections, and the questions that are coming in the chat, Mike, maybe we can get those answered later on at a later time. So keep asking the questions. If we do have time at the end of the catalyst, maybe we can jump into those. But we received only statements from the mayoral candidates today. No other cities or other elected positions. We asked the following candidates, each candidate to tell us basically who they are, and what they see as the most important responsibility of the mayor of Modesto, why they believe local citizens should vote in the local election. And the candidates are going to come in order, so we're just going to flip through videos. They're not going to be live. We have all these. We may have some technical issues on the video, so make sure you got your volume really loud right now, so that way you can see and hear everything, because some of the videos came in weren't too well, but we tried our best. So the following candidates are for the Modesto mayor is Christy Ayu, Rick Countryman, Narismin Gorel. I really mess up that name all the time, and I do apologize. Sue Zwahlen, Aaron Sermon Tenorio, Doug Reitnauer, and the current mayor, Ted Brandvold. So, Mike, you want to go ahead and kick off the videos?
I'm Christy Ayu. I wanted to let you know that I'm currently on City Council for District 3. I've been on there for 5 years because we went from odd year to even year elections. And the purpose of that whole thing, besides the fact that California told us we needed to, is to have more voter turnout. And we expect over 80,000 voters in the upcoming election in November. People should vote because this is absolutely your opportunity to have a say in who your city leadership is locally, who's in the district. And we also have propositions on there, not from the city, but for the state of California. It's the time to get your idea out on who you would like to see in leadership. Good. And it's a right, and not every country has that right. And I just encourage everyone to exercise it.
So what do you think are the top, couple of the top most important roles a mayor can play in Modesto?
Well, I don't know if you know this, but we are not an actual strong mayor city. So in some cities, everyone comes out and they elect whoever they think the best person is to run the city. And then that person is the mayor who's actually in charge of running City Hall. In our city, and according to our charter, how that works is You elect a mayor who works on the budget, and a council, and we have a city manager. It's our job to hire that person or let that person go. And we have Joe right now, Lopez, he's our city manager. He's in charge of the day-to-day operations along with his two deputy city managers. And then on top of that, we have all of the department heads and everyone at 10th Street Place. So the duties are the budget, the finances, to run a good meeting. We are to set policies, and we're also to work on subcommittees, which is things like finance, audit, and different areas like that at City Hall where decisions are made. So they're vetted in the committee meetings, and then they go to the dais on Tuesday nights for us to make decisions. If anybody wants to know more about what's going on, they can go to Christy4mayor.com. I have lots of videos on things like trees and homelessness, and I have like a candidate video. So just get educated, make the best decision you can as a voter. That's all we can ask.
Hello everybody, my name is Rick Countryman and I'm running for mayor of Modesto. I want to thank CMN for giving me an opportunity to share a few thoughts with all of you, and let me just begin by saying thank you to CMN for all that you do to make our city a better place. In fact, I guarantee you Modesto is a better place because of all that you do, and I'm proud to have been a part of CMN since the very beginning. I was born and raised right here in Modesto. I've spent my entire life in this city. I love Modesto. I love the citizens of this town. In fact, for the last 40 years, I've served this city and loved this city and cared for this city through the ministries of Big Valley Grace, which is a large church. Thousands and thousands of people consider it their home. We have a school of about 800 students, K through 12th grade. We have about 150 employees, about a $12 million budget. And I tell you that just so you can understand, it takes some leadership. It takes some skill to oversee an operation or a ministry that size. And now, in this next phase of my life, I just want to focus on the entire city. I want to use those leadership abilities that I have, skills that I have, to now care and love and serve the entire city. We have some big things that we're facing. We're right now in the middle of a pandemic, right? And at some moment we're going to come out of it, but we need somebody in office who has the ability, the experience to help our city come out of this and come out of it better off than we were when the pandemic started. In fact, I believe the best years of Modesto are ahead of it. But when we come out of this pandemic, guess what? We still got to deal with the homeless crisis in our city. We still have to deal with the public safety issues that are going on. There's a lot of things that we're going to have to deal with, and I believe that I have the skill set, the leadership abilities to help our city go to the next place. And I would hope that you would consider me, that you might pick me, pick Rick Countryman to be your next mayor. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Naramson Goriel, and I'm running for mayor of Modesto. I'm a first-generation Assyrian American that's dedicated to improving the lives of everyone who calls Modesto home. I currently serve as a commissioner on the City of Modesto's Board of Zoning and Adjustment and Landmark Preservation Commission, which tackles citywide needs regarding the health, safety, and aesthetics of property use within city limits. As a community organizer and city commissioner, I work with members of our community to improve the quality of life in our town by promoting public safety, civic engagement, and innovative ideas that tackle Modesto's most serious problems. As your next mayor, I'll work with members of our community to cut red tape for small local businesses, provide good paying jobs, address our affordable housing crisis, tackle homelessness, and improve our public safety. Unlike our current leadership at City Hall, I will be accountable and accessible to all. The City of Modesto and its residents deserve more than the empty rhetoric and false promises our current leadership is providing. By working together and putting people first, we can make Modesto a more desirable and safer place to call home. Please vote November 3rd, 2020, because there's so much at stake in this election. It's important to do your duty as a citizen and vote. Many people struggled and sacrificed their lives to have this right. Use it. It's fundamental. Please vote November 3rd. Thank you so much.
Hello, I am Sue Zwahlen. My commitment to Modesto is deep and personal. I was born here. My husband and I raised our 6 children here, and I was grateful to serve 8 years on the Modesto City Schools Board of Education. Thank you for listening to me today. The most important responsibilities of the Modesto mayor are 1, working to unify us all toward the common goal of improving our city for the benefit of all Modestans, and 2, having the vision and leadership to work with his or her colleagues on the council and city staff to set productive goals and policies for our city. We need a mayor who is going to be open, honest, and transparent to all residents of Modesto. Our mayor doesn't always need to be right, but we need someone who is going to lead by example and have an open door to those who agree with his or her policies and those who are calling for change. Now more than ever, we can clearly see the need for more unified and consistent leadership. COVID-19 has impacted the health and safety of our residents, their economic livelihoods, and their families. We need strong leadership. I am confident in my ability to lead our city through these challenging times and hope to earn your confidence and your vote. The importance of voting cannot be overstated. Watching the news, it feels as though our country is deeply, deeply divided by partisanship. I strongly believe that most Modestans share some common values and want leaders with integrity who will deal with them honestly while fighting for the needs of their families. That transcends partisanship. Voting is one of the most fundamental ways that you can stand up for your values and elect people who share them. Thank you to City Ministry Network for providing me the opportunity to be with you today.
My name is Erin Tenoria, and the responsibilities of a mayor are to help the public, help us, help them. Being public servants, that's what we are called to do. And the reason you should be voting in the local elections is because that's where things that matter to people actually happen. So November 3rd, go out and vote. And for Mayor of Modesto, vote for Erin Tenoria.
Hello, my name is Doug Reidner, and I would be honored to be your next mayor. Did you know one of the hardest questions you can ask a candidate for office is, why are you running for this position? I've done a lot of soul searching, praying, and had countless conversations with my wife and family about why I want to take this task on. The conclusions we all came to were very basic, but couldn't be truer. I love and care deeply about this city, so much so I spent my entire career serving. It's where we raised our kids, and in turn, they are raising our grandkids. As a former small business owner, EMT, a 41-year veteran in Modesto Police Department, I have seen the good and the bad that our city has offered. My life experience has given me the skills to build coalitions and implement positive citywide programs, and at the end of the day, get the job done. These are the skills I brought to Modesto City Council over the last 5 years as a representative of District 6. I've been a key proponent of upending several unpopular and misguided proposals, but also been proud to join my colleagues for the many common sense and positive policies brought forth. We're in the midst of a global pandemic, significant economic upheaval, and dire situations at the kitchen tables throughout Modesto. And I, for one, am tired of these situations being politicized and simply used as a social fodder. As your mayor, I will offer a strong voice, clear thought process, a unified city council vision, and an unending desire to do what is right for Modestans. Again, I'm Doug Reidner, and I'm a candidate for mayor of City of Modesto, and I appreciate you watching this video.
Hello everyone, I'm Ted Brandvold, and thank you for the opportunity to address all of you. The most important responsibility of the mayor of Modesto is representing the interest of the citizens of Modesto and assuring their safety. We as elected officials should never forget that we are public servants to the people of this community. With that said, the mayor has budget authority and is responsible for recommending an annual budget for council approval. The mayor may recommend policy when necessary and work with the city council to enact the legislation. The most enjoyable part of mayoral responsibilities is community engagement and involvement. There are so many organizations just like Catalyst and individuals just like all of you doing so many great things in our city, and I have enjoyed every minute of my involvement and meeting so many of you. The mayor is also the official representative to federal, state, and county governments and is often involved in recruitment of businesses interested in locating in Modesto. When it comes to voting, it is your right and responsibility. It is how your voice is heard and how you keep democracy alive. Our country was founded on the principle of government by the people, and voting is the foundation of people in control of their government. Our city has a rough road ahead as we deal with budget shortfalls, keeping our police and fire departments strong, homelessness solutions, and the need for economic development and job growth. The citizens of Modesto are what make Modesto strong, and this year Modesto is proud to be 150 years strong. Do your part, vote, and let us hear your voices. I am deeply honored to have been mayor of Modesto for the last 5 years, and I am looking forward to serving our citizens for 4 more years. Thank you again, and may God bless you all.
All right. Well, that was all the candidates for the Modesto mayor. And once again, we didn't get any other cities elected officials. So we wanted to just make that statement as well. So,
Hey, Jose, could I mention something
please.
Before we wrap up, before Marvin wraps up, maybe?
Yeah, please.
And that is just the importance of doing research for your town, for your district, for your area. Because as I was looking at police chiefs, I started looking around and I found Riverbank, Houston, Waterford, and Patterson, I think, their police force is contracted through the sheriff's department. And so their police chiefs are just appointed by the sheriff. So in that case, then you would want to make sure how you're voting for whenever a sheriff comes up for election, which I don't think is this year. But anyways, I've been talking to people. It really is so different in every city and in every space. And so just make sure you are doing your research in your area.
Yeah, that's great, Leah. Thank you so much. Leah has really schooled me, and just listening to her because some of the stuff I didn't even know about. So, and then even diving into the charter just to even understand the charter and what that looks like for the city of Modesto. It's very important. And so, as you know, too, there is in the chat, and then also on your, if you have your phone and you're not on your phone, go ahead and take a picture of this. And take a snapshot. We'll give you about 1 minute or so to do that, to really understand the local resources that are available to you and that affect all of us. Okay, so these are all the different resources for the local election, and I really want to thank Mike Gunnarsson for kind of putting this on the slide, and Leah and all the work that they've done up behind the scenes to get this going. This is very important. Good stuff, good information. Take a picture. And then also too, if you're on our City Ministry Network's mailing thing, maybe we can get you these mailed out too as well, so that way you're able to click and save those information. But once again, this video will be posted onto our website probably the next day or so, or in a day or two. So if you need a recap, for those who joined late this morning, you can go back on there and watch it there. So. All right, guys. So as we come to a close, we want to thank everybody for jumping on this morning. And man, I'm really excited about what is happening locally in our city, even during the pandemic. Some amazing things have been happening, and some amazing things are coming to fruition. So, guys, it's super exciting. And we want to just ask for your feedback. we really want to just hear from you guys. You guys are very important to us, but also to our city and our county. And so we believe there's value in feedback. So I want you to go ahead and text this number, text CMN to the number 916-345-2520. Go ahead and text that right now if you can. We're going to give about 60 seconds to give us some feedback. You're going to get a link on your phone to give us some good feedback so we can understand and make sure that we're the temperature of the room is where the Holy Spirit wants us to go. And so we really want to make sure that that's there. And so we ask for your feedback, and your feedback could be as honest and bluntly as whatever it wants is. If you don't like my bald head, Jose needs to grow his hair back, or whatever that looks like, or Doug needs to smile more, or Marvin just looks amazing. You can put whatever you want to put in the chat, just feedback, just let us know. So with that, guys, I'm super excited. Please make sure you go out and vote, or turn your vote into the ballot, into your mailbox, whatever that looks like here locally, and get to know what's happening in your city and in our county. So I'm going to turn it over to the wise Marvin, and he'll take it from here. There you go.
How's that? Can you?
All right.
Okay, fantastic. I do want to thank all the candidates. We do want to thank them. They are each fine people and fine leaders in their own way, and it'll be up to you to decide what kind of leader you want and the qualities that they have as we move forward as a community and as a county. Somebody once said all politics are local politics, and with that in mind, our title this morning was Local Elections Do Matter, and we do have a voice in a touch with our local elections. So I want to encourage you, get involved, figure out what you want to do, not just today, tomorrow, but in the future. I do appreciate Brad's comments around what he looks for in a candidate now. He's been in community leadership for a lot of years. Humility, servant's heart, and who can bring out the best in others. So thanks, Brad. I'm gonna definitely take that to heart. Many of you know my mom passed away about a month ago because of COVID, and she used to say, she used to complain about our civic leaders. She used to complain about decisions that were made or not made that were impacting her. But for a lot of years, she didn't vote. And so I'd say to her, Mom, did you vote? No. And then I'd say, then you can't complain. You cannot complain. So when she started voting, and she voted the last 20 years of her life, she continued to complain. And I said, Mom, did you vote? She said, yes. And I said, Mom, you can complain all you want. And so I want to encourage all of us that we are the government. It's not our government officials. This is America. It's us. And even this community, the national, local level, state level, reflects us as human beings and as Americans. So I want to encourage you. We are the government. We need to be involved. And you can complain all you want, like my mom used to complain, and get involved. I do want to mention a few things to you, and then we're going to close, is to find reliable information. The links that are there can get you started. You might find some other places, but we are in an era of disinformation. And so we can rub shoulders with our candidates here. We can talk with them. But again, in this era of disinformation, find reliable information. But I'm confident that most of you in the room, if you've been a part of Catalyst and are here, you're probably voting already. But I want to encourage you to encourage others to vote and not just put it off or just dismiss it as not necessary. No matter what happens in the next couple of months, I want to encourage you, please implore you to get involved in civic leadership and bring people with you. Bring them along with you. I've been looking at who's in the room, the participants, and you are all leaders of leaders. You all have circles of influence. So as you're getting involved, bring other people with you and get involved. Again, we've got to continue to develop a pool of quality candidates, leaders in our community. And the only way we're going to do that is to develop on-ramps for them. And those are going to be commissions, councils, boards, where you get experience on what it means to run governments. I want to encourage you too, and I notice that a lot of us are gray hair. I want to encourage you to develop and train the young towards civic leadership, mentor them, coach them, bring them along with you, and listen to them and hear them. They're an incredible generation. Our future is in great hands. And so they will only get better as we encourage them and support them and continue to teach them. What are the questions you ask as you're problem solving. Also, too, I want to encourage you all to get involved, advance not just your own interests, but the interests of our most vulnerable communities. A lot of us, and probably most of us, do get involved with those things that we really care about, and those are wonderful. On the other hand, be looking for those most vulnerable communities and care about what they care about as well, which means you're going to have to go and find the other people that are different than you, people that see things differently, and begin to hear them and listen to them. Not so that you could argue with them so that you can be understood, but that you can understand. And then finally, for all of us, win or lose candidates, whether you're a candidate or not, let's work together no matter who wins. I had coffee a couple of days ago with a young candidate in one of our county municipalities, and I encouraged her, no matter win or lose, go ahead and lick your wounds, take some time off, but then jump back in the fray and get involved. I know I've had a friend who lost an election, and next day he was back to work, working to make our community an incredible place to grow up in and grow old in. So I want to encourage us all, whether your candidate wins or whether they lose, listen, we're in this thing together. So let's just jump in there and let's support each other. No grudges. Let's do this thing together. So that's what I want to encourage you to do. Those are going to be my closing words for this morning. We're in this thing together, and as I think Doug mentioned, all the candidates mentioned, Rick and others, Sue, we are in a crazy season, the virus and other things, and so it's important that we stick together and stay together in our trust relationships. So let's continue to trust each other, give each other the benefit of the doubt, and let's assume the best of each other, not the worst of each other. I want to mention a couple things, and then we're going to close. Some takeaways for sure is that take some time with somebody this week just to share what you learned or were inspired by here at Catalyst. Maybe share the websites for voter information. Sadly, I do get concerned sometimes that so many voters just are so unaware. And so I want to encourage us all to continue to be educated, maybe have coffee with somebody, continue to trust and build those trust relationships with everybody around you. Let's go ahead with the social capital, with the trust we have in a community. We're going to get through this stronger than when we entered it. And it's only going to take place as we trust each other and work together. Yeah, that's what it's going to be. I want to mention several things. Global Leadership Summit. Our county is still in not a place where we can meet all together yet. So we will continue to let you know. Global Leadership Summit, a lot of it's going to be online. There might be some that want it to, be socially distanced, spread out, and there'll be some opportunities for that. But most of the time, most of it's going to be on the internet, and we're going to be able to watch it individually in our homes or in small groups. But that's October 23 and 24. You can get your information and register at globalglsmodesto.com. Again, we generally have this in August, all of us together, but in honor of the county and respecting the county guidelines, we're going to go online for the most part. Want to remind you too, October 3rd, Saturday, Love Modesto. And Jeff Pishney asked that we tell you there are still projects and are still needing volunteers. And so more information, signing up at lovemodesto.com. We are a 501c3 organization, City Ministry Network. And so we exist through donations. So if this is a ministry and an organization that you have felt brought value to our community, please join us financially. We'd be grateful. It's rough on everybody this season. Confident it's rough on you too. But the more we share and give out to each other, the better. If it's not City Ministry Network, find another group and invest in them. We want to encourage you with that. And then finally, every November, we take a catalyst to look at the state of City Ministry Network, the state of the network in our county. And I've entitled it Stronger Than When We Started. And I can remember the first catalyst we had, I think it was the 1st of April during the middle of COVID. And I do remember saying, we are going to get through this stronger than when we started. And what does that look like? So we're going to get a chance to share with you what that looks like, not just for City Ministry Network, but our communities together. It is rough. You all know I lost family members just in the last month. Yeah, it's been rough. It's been rough. Economic turndowns, it's been rough. But we can get through this better and stronger than when we entered. And again, when Winston Churchill, years ago said, never waste a good crisis, those of us in leadership have jumped in and need to jump in and will continue to jump in and lead and get people through in our communities through these rough times. So what an honor it is to be a part of this community, part of it with you, and together we're going to make this city a great place and this county a great place to grow up in and to grow old in. And so let's stay together, have some coffee together, develop trust relationships, ask each other the hard questions, and be honest and candid with each other. We're going to get through this, and we're going to be great for it. So thank you so much. We do love you. We love you. We love what's happening around us, and let's continue to stay together and work together for the sake of those who can never be at the table of decision making. And so bless you all. You a good morning. Bye-bye.